In this section, we are going to discuss about filter functions. Calculate, filter, all except keep filters. As usual, there are a lot of other filter functions. In order to understand what does this filter function is, we are going to talk about these with these examples function, and you can expand your knowledge on the other filter functions based on this foundation. And one important aspect we need to know in the filter function is the calculate. Calculate function is the most important versatile function in DAX. It is used to evaluate expression, that is an aggregation, sum or count rows, in a modified filter context. Basically, like modified filter context is you have a cell table, and that particular cell being calculated by different filter context. We have seen many times that when we filter from the row, filter from the column, filter from the slicer, filter from the filter pane. All these filters contribute to that cell. Now this calculate function can override those filters applied and add or remove filters used in the calculate function. This is what we say it as modified filter context. If you are not getting what I'm trying to convey, let's try to check it out in the Power BI. Before that, this channel contains a DAX playlist that covers many DAX functions with examples and scenarios when to use it that will make your DAX skills in the next level. Please utilize this free content, share this with your friends and colleagues. Let's jump into my Power BI. Now let's have our example here. Let me get rid of this. Let me pull this table here, and let's try to check it out one by one. Let's start with the filter table or a filter DAX function where it will be useful, right? So filter can be used in many ways. One simple example is we have seen in our previous example. Before that, let me try to create one table. So all these DAX, it's not only used for creating your measures, right? As I said before, we have DAX can be used in different purpose, creating a table, creating a column, creating a measure, right? So now I'm trying to use one scenario. Let's say like I have a scenario like I have this transaction where I have a bunch of records, 8,129. I want to filter it only for the on shop, right, order type. So how can I do it? Let's create one table. Be with me. So for that, I can write a DAX only online on shop, right? On shop transactions. Okay, this is my table name. How can I write? It's a filter. Okay, filter, and then transaction, and then I can say order type name equal to on shop. Okay, let's try to check it out, that spelling. I'm very poor in remembering the names what I read. Let's go back and check if the okay, it is correct one. If it is not correct, we will not get the data. Now we can see from the order type we will have only the on shop, right? So this will contain on 7,000 records, whereas this particular transaction contains many records over here, right? The transaction contain everything, and this one contain very less records. Okay, so this is one such example why I am doing this. Like in order to calculate or filter out, right, only on shop data, you are using the filter function. In our one of the example, in our previous example here, right, we have used this filter function here. So I have shown you both the examples there. Like filter is the function that used to filter the records. It's a iterator. Okay, filter is the iterator. Now using that, we have created a table, and same filter expression we are using as a inside the measure. Basically, why we are using inside the measure, let's say max over here, right? Max of X, it requires a table. So it is not required, it should be a physical table that is created here. You can virtually create a table using the DAX. That is the whole point I'm trying to create or make here. So we created a similar table, on shop table in this example. Instead of creating a table, you may think like it should refer a table. It is not mandatory to create a table. You can virtually create a table, because this particular online order is not at all present here, but I have created a table, virtual table, okay, that works only while this particular measure is used. That will create this virtual table. Within this table, this will take the maximum. Okay, this is very important for you to understand. That is why this filter function is used. I hope this is good to know what is filter function is. Let's move on to the calculate function now. What I'm trying to see from here is, let's see the percentage of values over here, right, against the total. Okay, like this is the total and I have this total value. For that, there are different ways to do it. One is as simple as that. Let's try to drag and drop this one, and then instead of showing this value here, I can use the percentage of grand total. Okay, now the total value against this total will be automatically divided. Okay, now how can I achieve it by myself, right? I can write different DAX functions to do it. Okay, one way to write is, let's try to get how this is calculating. Basically, for each row I need to get the total over here, right? Total value over here. Then this divided by total will give me that percentage. Okay, this is what it is happening. But here I didn't do that calculations by itself, but what I'm trying to do here is, the Power BI has a ability to show you. Okay, this is what by default it is doing, but in order to do it in a programmatic way, I need to write a DAX. Let's go and check it out how to do that. Now new measure. First I need to get the all sales. Okay, all sales. Now I need to do the what I need to bring here. First of all, I need to calculate the sum of sales that I need to get. Okay, sum of sales, total minus sales, or this is the total sales. I hope you understand why we have the hyphen here. Total sales, comma, what I need to do, I don't want any filters to be applied. Okay, how to remove the filter? Then I need to get the total value. So removing the filter is nothing but all in this case. So all transaction. Okay, I put all transaction. Now what is happening here is, what I'm saying to this measure is, do the total sales, do not apply any filter, anything on the transaction table. Okay, let's try to check it out how it works. If it doesn't work, we need to change a little bit. Let's try to check it out here. Now I got the data over here, right? So whatever I need it, I need this data along with the total value of this. Total value, I got it over here. Now you need to understand one point here, why important the relationship, all of the stuffs. I am saying remove all the filters from the transaction, but here this particular column is from the product table. How it works? Because of the relationship that we defined before. Because once you define this one-to-many relationship, this transaction table will expand as a flat table internally. So whatever filters applied in the one side also will be ignored. So once you applied the all transaction, okay, that is a very important point you need to know. Now how to achieve this result here, right? I need to write another measure, percentage sales. Okay, this is nothing but total sales divided by all sales. Okay, so this way, if anything zero happens, there will be some error will be appear, right? Divide by zero if you are a programmatic way. So the best way to write is divide numerator, comma, denominator. So this is the best way to write it. Do not apply the slash symbol here. So this is the value. Now I can use this sales figure here and it will return me the same value. So once you click on this, you need to format this percentage sales here over here, and now this is given me the same result, exact result as it is. So this is one simple example that we have seen how to modify the filters. Now let me give you another example of calculate. Let's say I want to have this formal data, right, formal category to be applied over each and every row and compare the percentage of it, right? For that, let's try to create new measure, formal sales. Okay, let's name it as formal sales. Now calculate and same total hyphen sales, and I will say category name equals, as you know, this is the double quotes formal. Let's put enter. There you go. Now you can see the magic here. What happens is, in order to compare what is the contribution between these two, right, meaning like casual wear and formal, I need to compare these two figures. What is the percentage or calculations over here, right? So I brought this formal wear against each row. How I brought this value? Because usually filter context, how it works, the total sales, if you see the total sales formula, this is the sum of sales amount by each category. So you define only total sales and you have applied the filters. Filter context works here. In this case, right, the formal sales, what happens is the filter context is overridden. When you see the casual wear, ignore that casual wear, use this formal wear and show that data to this row. Ignore this semi-formal, show this data. Even though it's a formal, filter context applied, and then you show the data. And accessories, ignore this accessories, take that formal wear data and then show it here. So in this way, you brought the formal wear data against each row here, right? Then if you want to calculate the percentage, same way how we did it for percentage sales, you can do the total sales divided by formal sales. For this casual wear, how much percentage it contributes to the formal wear. I mean, it is like average you are checking between comparison, right? How much it is different here. This is like 50% of this or 20% of this, right? Those kind of comparison you can able to compare. This is about calculate function. Now we have a fair understanding about filter and calculate function. Let's try to check it out the other functions in our upcoming videos. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button and comment below for queries. Do remember that data is your asset.